either via mail or in the SCT guidelines only it is there, OPPE guidelines it is there. And then you can go to the portal and wait. And you can wait for the proctor. Each session will have a proctor. He will call out your name, and then you will have to like show the room around and like the desk, and then he has to verify you like your face. Okay. And after he gives a go, you can you will get access to your portal. Now in the portal you will have to grant access for location, screen sharing and camera. And please ensure that you don't switch tabs because it is getting recorded. And also that there is nothing on the table except a blank paper and pen and the laptop. As already mentioned, if you are using another mobile phone for a hotspot, you will have to tell the proctor that at the time of verification. Okay, you have to show him and tell him that I'm using another phone and get his permission. Yeah, and then I think the position, the way you have to sit, all such images have already been given in ACT guidelines. So this is basically for OPPE, and then you have to accept the code of conduct and everything, and then you can start attending the questions. So this is how usually OPPE works. Nothing to be very tensed of. It's okay. It's like not a very big thing you have to be tensed of. How many papers are we allowed to take? I didn't get you. How many papers in the sense?
Uh,
Ma'am, how many
like
questions
how
will be
many
there?
white papers we are
Oh,
allowed
okay.
to take? Yeah.
That is totally up to you. It's just that nothing should be written on that paper. Like the proctor, on seeing the paper, will ask you to show, right, the papers. So you can take as much as you want. Uh,
By the way, is it necessary to sit in the place where we have given SCT?
Not necessary, but again, the proctor, you should like the way that you sit, the position should be the same. Like your hands should be on the table. Like people, they should be able to see the immediate surroundings, the table, etc. And there should be no one else in your room.
And ma'am, one thing, we have to join from enable our incognito in the Google Chrome browser.
In the senior laptop, you don't have to join a Google Meet. It is only from your phone that you are supposed to join the Google Meet. In the laptop, you going to log into the exam portal. And again, it's always better if you use the incognito mode. But again, it's fine even if it's not.
Ma'am, how
And
many
Ma'am,
questions will
is
be
it
there?
not necessary to join in the laptop, like video?
Google Meet.
Yeah,
No,
ma'am.
no. Only you have to join the Google Meet from your phone, and you have to keep your video switched on throughout.
And
Like you can't switch.
audio we can
Audio,
hear.
yeah, you will be muted only in the beginning when the proctor calls out your names. Then you have to unmute and speak.
Hmm.
Other than
And
that, you have to always keep
and
your.
one thing, we can multiple time test run on the exam portal for our code.
Mhm. I think you have been given like you should have been given like a mock including SCT also, no? Like a link. That I think that link is you will be able to open only at that time. Like
No, no, no.
during that.
Hmm.
Oh, during the actual exam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Before you find your last submitted will be evaluated.
And ma'am, what if power supply is cut and our laptop and phone battery gets discharged? Also, Wi-Fi is gone. So, will they
That
allow
is
us to?
that is like the worst case scenario, right? You should be prepared enough that your phone has enough charge, or you have another backup ready.
or
And
or safer side is like best option is connect your laptop to charger and connect your USB from charger from your laptop to your directly phone. That is far better. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, and also guys, we will like wrap up the OPP discussion in like 5 minutes and then start with the questions, and then if time permits we can continue with this after the end way of discussing questions. Now I'll just Manbigya.
Ma'am, if in the OPP exam the proctor takes like more time to verify, then what?
No, usually he completes it within that half an hour, and that is like not a very big issue. It never like usually doesn't happen, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah,
Also, they have mentioned to join before half an hour at least.
yeah, at least half an hour early.
Mm.
Mhm.
Uh, mm. and uh, yes, and also our browser updatation and all those things. Also, mm.
They
Yeah, ma'am, I had a doubt that if someone is having a cold or if someone has a child in their house or there are many background noises around them, so will they be okay or there is any
uh,
problem?
see, usually you have to sit in a closed room with nobody else and no disturbances. But again, it is all up to the proctor. Will he allow or
Ma'am, there will be no disturbance. I will sit in a closed room, but ma'am, there are a child in the house, so ma'am, there are loud noises thereby in the surroundings.
that should not be a problem as long as there is nobody else in the room with you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, if we have a cold or we by mistake cough or sneeze, ma'am, that there is not a problem, ma'am.
No, no, no.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But we can't say na about that prompter will ask why are you coughing or sneezing.
No, no, no. Not
Okay.
suspicious. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yuva, I think you can begin. We'll take up the questions at the end of our session after the doubt solving related to Python. If we have time, then we'll take up this. Okay. Yuva, I think you can start with the session.
Yes. Hi guys. Is my screen visible right now?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So before this, I just want to brush up one thing. That is list comprehension in Python. So which will be very useful in OP sessions or in any Python questions that you're answering. So basically, what we will do when the question is asked like this, let's take this question. You just have a list, and then you're going to what you actually need to do is you're going to multiply each element and then store it in this result list. Okay. So but what we actually do is we use a for loop, and we append it and stuff. But what if I tell you that you can do this in one line? So that is why this list comprehension exists. Okay. So you can this format comes like the for loop comes in the backside of the thing, and then the result comes in the front part. Okay. And then you're basically storing in a list, right? So you can put it in a list, or if you want the result to be in tuple form, then you can put in parentheses. So this is like an easy way to do the stuff. It will also be efficient. It's called list comprehension because comprehension means it's an easy understanding, but in Python it's called like short syntax. We all know that syntax is like the structure of a program, right? So yeah, so this reduces the structure as well as it reduces the time and efficient for during OP sessions, right? And as well you need to finish everything in within an hour or 1.5 hours, right? So that is what I want to tell you. So brush up this list comprehension no matter what, and we are going to solve like four questions based on this list comprehension today. So now let's start with set one. This is like previous year OP sessions, so it will be very useful if you revise these. And if you revise only these, then you can actually pass. Okay. So and also I hope you guys know like session one, session two, session three, what will be asked and how many questions will be there. But in order to say once again, I'll just say it. Okay. So this section one contains 3 marks, three questions, and each carries 10 marks. Okay. And then the section two is having 2 questions, and each carries 20 marks, which is very important. And section three is like problem solving. They will test you, like they will not give you anything. have to do the whole coding here. So and that will be like two questions and each 15 marks. Okay. So the trick part is, am I audible? Hello? Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay, fine. Okay. So am I audible clearly?
Yes, yes, you are audible
Yes,
clearly.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
you're audible.
Okay,
Session
fine.
recording.
You guys understood this list comprehension? I'm sorry, I didn't ask any questions. I just went fast. Do you guys understood this list comprehension? Is it useful for you guys?
Yeah, it is useful. Can you please explain like the for loop and how to write that one liner?
Okay, okay, yeah, sure. So, fine. Let's take this example. For example, we here the question is you have a list like this A. You have 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to store it in a new list of the squares of those numbers. So, for example, 2 twos are 4, right? So you have to store it here, and then 3 threes are 9. You have to store 4 fours are 16. You have to store. You have to store this in a new list. For that you will go for writing a for loop and iterating over each element and stuff, right? Instead of that you can just do it in one line by writing a for loop in the second part, and whatever you want to do just do it in the first part. And then if you want to store it in a list, then put a square bracket here. If you want to store it in a tuple, then put a parenthesis here, right? Is it fine? You can practice
Can you
this.
explain also the if else condition in the for loop?
Yes, yes, we are going to do many problems in that. I just took this example to make you understand what is list comprehension. We will go through the examples so you will understand it clearly. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is set one. Sorry, I was explaining about the section stuff. So in the section one, OPE, you will have three questions. Okay. So and each carries 10 marks. So the trick here is you have to finish this section within 20 minutes. So
Madam, one request. Make your font big, madam.
is it fine now?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think
Okay. Okay. So in section one, they will test you about the data types. They will test you about data types like in float, str. They will test you everything, and then the operations. In Python, like division, multiplication, or the powers, right? So the powers, it's star star, right? So they will test you all that. So like that, they will ask you three questions, which is very easy question. I will not tell very easy, but for beginners it's like easy questions in section 1. So you have to finish this section 1 within 20 to 30 minutes. So then only you can solve this session 2 or section 3. Okay. So finish this section 1 within 20 to 30 minutes. It will be easy for you. And you can complete this 30 marks. You can get this 30 marks easily. Okay. Next, in section 2, the another thing is in section 1 there are no loops. They will not ask any for loops or while loops. That nothing will be there. So we will go through some examples in order to understand how section 1 will be. So yeah. So in section 2, data processing, here the loops will be asked. Okay, here they will ask for loop. They will test your while loop things. Okay, and they will ask two questions here, and each carries 20 marks. So if you can finish like one question from section 2 and all the section 1, then you can score 50 marks solidly. Okay. And then this section 3, they will test you the whole thing. Like they will not give you anything. They will not even give you the function name, or it's your choice whether to go with function or whether to go with simple for loop or while loop, anything. Okay. So you have to do the whole code here, and it will be simple only if you are thorough with the concepts. So they will ask you like input output types, pattern printing. Like this pattern printing is very common in OPE questions, especially in section 3. So you have to get thorough with pattern printing, and I will also teach you with how to put star patterns or how to put slash patterns and everything. Okay. So we are gonna brush up this section 3.
So, ma'am, can you please show the previous one marks criteria again?
Yeah, I will share
40.
this mind map link in the in the group. It's in the meet itself. Just go through this once. It'll be very easy. Okay. I just share this mind map in the meet. So just go through this, and then before going to OPE, just have a revise like whether you're thorough with all this or not. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the set 1. The first question, set 1, section 1. So I told you in section 1 there will be 3 problems, and it's going to be easy, right? So let's just
So ma'am, all the 7 questions is mandatory.
yes, you have to answer all the 7 questions in order to get 100 marks.
Ma'am, the passing criteria is 45, na?
Yes. So for that only I told, if you answer section 1 within 20 minutes or within half an hour according to your time, and then if you answer in section 3 one question, then you can pass the exam. 45. In section 3 one question carries 15 marks, right? So yeah, in section 3 one question carries 15 marks, and then section 1 whole things carries 30 marks. And here it has no loops, or you don't even need to think. It's the answers will be like one line or two lines only. You can easily score 30 marks here. So finish the section 1 and finish one question in section 3, you can easily pass the exam. Okay. And many people will know all the answers, but they will not have time to finish within that 1.5 hour or whatever time they're giving. So just be very fast in answering. Just go through all the questions and see whether you know the things or not. If you know the answer, just write it down. Okay, just finish that part and then go to other things. Okay, so let's start with problem 1. Do you guys have any queries till now? Okay, let's start. Write a function, sum squares, absolute difference squares. Okay, so we are basically going to take two integers, okay, 3 and 4, and then they're asking us to print the sum of the square of their squares, and then print the absolute difference of the squares. Okay, so basically the 3 is here and then the 4 is here. You have to square it, and then 9 and 4 is 16 will come, and then you have to sum it and put it. Okay, and then you know what's absolute difference is. Absolute difference gives you, so basically 9 minus 16 gives you minus 7, but absolute difference gives you the absolute value, like the positive value only. Okay, so even if this 9 is like 9.0 minus 16.0 is there, then it will give you like 7.0 as an answer, like normally. But with absolute difference, only 7 will be there. It will truncate the point 0, as well as it will truncate the negative part, everything, and then it will give you just the value itself. So if they wanted to print this, so how we can do this in one line? So that's what I'm going to show here. So I have this collab thing. I have written all the and all the answers. Okay, so here basically this is how you can write in one line. You can print both the sum as well as their absolute difference. Okay, so let's
Ma'am,
just go.
little bit slow, ma'am.
मैम अच्छा, इसको अगर आप फंक्शन में कर रहे हैं, इसको मैं
Sorry,
दूसरे तरीके.
I don't understand Hindi. Can you tell
Oh,
it?
so sorry. You are taking from the function to avoid a big line code. So if I take that sum of square equal to a square plus b square, and then I say absolute difference equal to absolute of a square minus b square, and then return the output, then it will pass or not?
Yeah, it will. No problem. You can do it in two lines. You can do it in one line. It's not a
Hmm.
problem. So yeah. So basically, this part, this line, and this line, they will give. You just need to write this line. Okay. So how the questions will be is, this is how the question will be in the OPPE. This is how the question will be in OPPE. This is the question they will give. So they will give all the instructions, like what you need to do and how the arguments are passed, whether it's integer or not, or whether it's float numbers or the integers. They will give you everything, and how you want the how they want the output to be. They want the output to be in tuple. Okay, so this is what they give, and here you need to put, enter here, and then you have to write your answers like written, this and this, like that. Okay, so that's what we are going to do here. So basically you're going to take, this is visible, right? This code.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So it is
Hello.
basically like our GA only, right?
Hello.
Sorry, GPRA.
Hello.
Yes.
The value 3 and 4 will be inputted by them, or we have to put them. The value
No,
3
no,
and
they
4.
will give. They will give. It's not a problem. They will give everything. See, um, Yeah, this is what I showed, right? This is A int and this is B int. See, here they have given. Okay, you just write your code here in this line. Just copy this.
No, no. Actually, my question is the value will be inputted by them, or we have to put that values.
You don't have to put any values. They will give only A and B. For example, I have put here 3 and 4 for your understanding. Okay, in order to run this program, I have put 3 and 4. You just need to write the code in terms of A and B only, not in terms of 3 and 4, right?
So we have to write the print statement which is below that, the end line, the print.
The end line also they will take care of. You just need to write this part.
So first two
So
line will
they
be
have
written by us.
yeah, they will give this line. Okay, you just need to write the second line.
And the what is about third line?
This is the third line, right?
So third line we have to write or not?
You don't have to write, man. This is the thing. Like
Okay.
in order to run this program, I have given. Okay, but they have the system like they are testing like the private test test cases are there, right? So they will test it based on their system. So
So
it is
we don't have
exact.
to include print line. Okay. So third line.
Yes,
So we
yes,
don't
you
have to
don't
write
need.
third line.
Yes, you no need to
Only
write.
only second line will be written by us, right?
Yes, not the second line. In your for example, yeah, here this two lines you need to write. Not only second line is the thing, but this all part
Yeah,
you.
I understand. I understand. So the statement till return will be done by us, right?
Yes,
Okay. The print.
yes.
Okay. 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 Understood. Understood. Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so basically here we are just taking this, A and B as our arguments, and then we are squaring it. You all know this square functions, right? So you're basically squaring it, and then for first question we are going to sum them, and then for the second question we are going to use absolute function, which is a pre-built function in Python. We can use. So here they are testing you the functions, right? Whether you know this function or not. Uh, they are asking us to print the absolute difference between them. So in order to know that, you have to know the pre-built functions like this absolute, like that. Okay, so we can easily do this, right? So this is the first question.
Ma'am, can you please explain the Fibonacci series coding? Because I am facing difficulties in Fibonacci series representation.
Okay, these are all the questions that you should be asked in the last part. We will give you 20 minutes time to ask doubts. So for now, we will just brush up this set point and set two. Okay, we will come up many questions like this: palindrome, Fibonacci. You have to wait. Okay, so let's move to second. Is everyone thorough with the first question? Is there any doubt in first question?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear, ma'am.
Okay, so let's move to second one. So we have to write a function of odd length palindrome that takes a string s. Okay, fine. So basically, you're going to take a string that is like this hello, and then you're going to say whether it's a palindrome or not. And if it's a palindrome, and if its length is an odd, you have to print true. If both the conditions are true, satisfying, then you have to print true. For example, if you take this none, it is a palindrome. You all know what is a palindrome, right? If you reverse it, you should print the same thing. If you reverse this none, you should print the none only. But if you reverse this hello, you're not going to get the same hello, right? But if you reverse this none, you're going to get the same none. So this is a palindrome, and its length is 3, which is an odd number. So that's when you print true. But for example, this is noon, and it's a palindrome, which is true, but it's not. Its length is not odd. It's even. It's 4 numbers, right? So that's why it's a false. So this is the program. So how you need to do? So basically, the first line they will give, okay, and you have to use only yes. Whatever variable they are giving here, that's only you have to use it here. You should not give if you are giving the yes. You should not provide like str like as it's your own. No, this is wrong. Or you cannot even give string. You have to give only yes. You have to use whatever variable they are giving. For example, here the question asks like yes only. So you have to use yes. Okay.
Suppose, sorry to interrupt. Suppose we store the value of s in another variable like xy. Then
Yeah,
we
that's yeah. Then you can use your variable. For
have.
example, here you have stored like s equal to string or string new, like that. Then you can use here also string new. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Fine. So for you have to check two conditions here, whether it's a palindrome or not, and whether its length is odd or not, right? So that's what you're checking here. So in order to check palindrome, that's a trick, like short trick. It's a very important trick in order to check palindrome. This slicing, you know, right? Do you guys know slicing? So this is
Yes,
slicing.
ma'am.
Yeah. So this slicing. So if you print only yes of colon colon, then it will print the entire string. Okay. But if you print s of colon colon and -1, it will print the reverse of the string. So you basically want to find whether the string is equal to the reverse of string, right? That is the palindrome condition. So this single word or single line can test the palindrome, whether the given string is a palindrome or not. Okay, yeah, you can memorize it or you can just note down in note. So this single string can tell whether the string is a palindrome or not. Okay, and you can basically test anything with this length function, whether it's on odd or even. So you're basically taking the length of the length of the string, and you're using modulo of 2 of function in order to check whether if they are divisible by 2 or not. If they are divisible by 2, then they are even. If they are not divisible by 2, then their remainder is going to be 1, right? So that's when you're saying that's odd. So if they are odd and if they are palindrome, then you're printing true. So so you might have noticed that there is no true or there is no false, right? So this basically is an it's a boolean function, or you can say like this will actually give you true or false only. Okay, so because it's an equal to sign, and or equal to equal sign. So if this is true and this is true, then it will print true. Or if it's one of the thing is false, then it will print false because and is here. You guys are understood, right? If you give
Yes,
or
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
give or, then if one of the condition is true, then it will print true. But our question is not that. If they are saying to satisfy two conditions, okay, they are given and itself. So write a function that takes a string and returns true if yes is a palindrome of length and false otherwise. Okay, palindrome of odd length. They have given it in one straight line. If yes is a palindrome of odd length, so you have to use and condition only, not or. Okay, fine. So let's move to next question. So here, write a function, remove elements at two indexes. Okay, fine. So basically here the question is you have given a list, okay, and they will also give you this indexes. Indexes, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the indexes. So those indexes they will give. You need to remove the elements at those two indexes at the same time, and you're going to modify the list here. See, they have given this note, and they will give this note in the question itself, whether what you need to do and everything. So this is a function type question, and you don't have to take input or print the output, just have to complete the required function definition. So there is no need of input, or you no need to print the output also, so you no need of any written function here. Okay, so and yeah, so basically you want to modify the list here, modify the L here. Okay, let's see how they have given the question. So this is what the question will be: def remove elements at two indexes. So they have given L, and they have given I1 and I2. So which means you have to use for indexes I1 and I2 in those variables only. So let's see how this can be done. And okay, for your purpose I have given these things, example 1 and stuff. So L1 you have, and then you have given this L and stuff. Okay, so you're basically going through iterating through the list. So you're taking for I in sorted, and sorted. Why have used sorted here? Because so if you see I1 and I2, right, 5 and 1. So perhaps then I can explain this. So basically 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the fifth element, right? And this is the first element. You all know the list indexing, right? It starts from 0. And then this is one element and this is fifth element. So you're going to remove these two elements. You know what? Just go through this function. Okay. Okay, fine. So basically you don't need these things for you can just iterate over these things, and then you can use this pop function, and you can use pop, or you can even use a delete function. Where I've used delete function?
Why you have
Yeah.
used sorted function?
Yeah, so basically I1 and I2 is there, right? So you're sorting it out like, for example, they've given 5 and 1. If you are removing 5 first, then your array will be like 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Your array will be mixed, so you will not delete the actual indexes that you want. So you're basically sorting the function first, and then you're you're not sorting the function, you're sorting the indexes first. Okay, so they have given I1 as
And
5.
one doubt here. Why you are writing reverse? What is the purpose of that?
It's a
Reversing the button.
First understand the question. So here they have given indexes 5 and index 1 as 5 and index 2 as 1, right? So index 1 as 5 means if you're deleting for the one first thing, and then wait a minute, and then your entire thing will be changed, like this will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So 4, 5. Okay, I think I need a moment to realize this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Second.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's understandable.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so
thank you
I'll
so
just
much.
execute this once. So here I'm giving 1 and here I'm giving 5. So just see, and if I'm not reversing them, just see what happens. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here the sixth thing is not getting deleted. See. So first of all, you need to delete the element in index 1, right? Index 1 is 0, 1. You need to delete the element 2. So that you're deleting. After that, the array becomes 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then your thing will be like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you need to delete this fifth element. But that's not the question asked, right? So this is the question asked. So you need to delete the sixth element, the sixth one, and then the second one. But you're actually deleting the second one and seventh one. So that's why you're basically reversing it, so that you delete the highest order index first, and then you're deleting the lowest order one. Okay, and you
Ma'am,
have If didn't write reverse equal to false, then as default it will be taking in ascending order. Am I right, ma'am? Yes, default will be ascending. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So now
Ma'am, if you take reverse, the whole list will be reversed, ma'am.
the whole thing will be reversed. No, no, no. You're reversing only this one. See, you're putting
Oh,
sorted
yeah,
function
yeah.
as this one only. The parenthesis. See this parenthesis. Not for this
Yeah.
whole array. You're reversing only this one. I mean, not you're not even reversing. Reversing means reverse equal to true means you're just giving it in an ascending order. Reverse equal to false means you're doing descending order. This is descending order. Are you guys are you guys thorough?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Instead of using sorted, how about we use first we use L pop I and like I1 and then just do L pop I2 minus 1 because the difference would be 1 only.
Sorry. Why the difference is one? Why you're doing difference?
For example, we removed one element. Let's say we remove the element at the first index, that
Oh,
is 2.
okay.
Then the index of the second element would be 1 minus. For example, it was 5 at first, now it would be at 4. So instead of doing all this, we can just write L dot pop I1 and then we can write L dot pop I2 minus 1. I tried it out and the output is same.
Yes, that works. Yes.
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes. That's a problem. So what if this thing is given? So what if your first index is higher? So then your entire thing will be wrong, right?
Sir, we can make a if and else condition that if I1 is greater than I2, then we remove them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we first remove I1 and
You can do whatever comes in your mind, and then you can provide conditions and stuff. If you're a beginner,
I
then we
just
can
to know
think.
if my approach is correct or not.
Yeah, yeah, it's correct. It's correct, and you can put two. You have to put two conditions actually. There. If it's greater than one,
Thank you.
then you should do it like this, and if it's less than one, you should do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, fine. So yeah, we are moving to section two, and here
Ma'am,
we are going. Hello. Yes.
ma'am, pop function is used for which purpose in the previous question?
Pop is for removing the element. When you're modifying the list, you can use pop.
Okay.
Yeah, and same thing is for delete. Delete. The previous question asked two solution. You can use delete or you can use pop because they have basically asked to modify the list and not to print any output, right? So that's what they have asked. No need of any output. So you're going to just modify the list. So you can use either delete or you can use either pop. They are both used to delete an element in a list. Okay. So the next question is sum of squares of even numbers, which is a very common question and it's easy to. So basically, when a list is given, you're going to square everything, and you're going to square the sums. Okay. So let's see how we can do this. Yeah, you can do this in one line even, or if you can put you can do this. Yeah, here I've done. So for you can iterate through each numbers, and you can if they are even, then you can print the squares and total it. Okay, you can even do this part, or you can do like this. But this is interesting, right? You can do everything in one line. So let's see how we can do that. So for example, in nums, you're getting all the list, you're having the list in nums. Okay, and then you're going to iterate the nums. Okay, for x in nums. So here the x as each element in nums. For example, the x is 1 now. Okay, so if 1 is a 1 percentage of 2, 1 mod 2 equal to 0, which is not okay, which is false. So if it's even, then you're going to square it. But since one is not even, one is not even, you're not going to square it, or you're not going to sum it. Okay. So for example, let's take 2. Okay. In the second iteration, x is 2, and you're going to mod 2. Okay. Mod 2, which is even, actually is equal to 0, and it's an even. So you're going to square the 2, which is 4, and you're going to put it in sum. Okay.
Ma'am, in here should we include, import math?
Yeah, you can do that. You can import math, and you can put like math or square root. That's what you're saying, right?
No,
SQRT.
no, no. I'm just asking for some. For some, should we import
Yeah,
math?
for some it's a built-in function. You don't need to import,
Oh,
math for that.
okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So this you understood, right? So how to do this? This is what list comprehension is all about. You can do everything in one thing. Like you can give if condition in the last part, you can give for in the middle part. So one guy asked how we can do if or else, in the list comprehension. So this is how we can use. So after for loop, you can put this if conditions. Okay, fine.
Ma'am,
So
it is always happen after for loop we can use if.
no, it should be always after for loop. The if conditions, if else condition should be after for loop only. And
Okay.
here, no need of any semicolon like this. No need of anything like that. But in normal way, like we usually do, you can put that total equal to 0, and for x you're iterating, and if x is even, then you're summing it the squares. Okay. So this is a
Can you
normal.
give the example of combine if and else condition in a one-liner code?
In
This is
comprehension,
a
if else
this is
will
an
come
example.
before.
So if this is even, then you're going to do, and if it's not, then you're not going to add. That's it.
No, for list comprehension, if you're using if else, then it should come before for. If you're using only if, then it comes after for.
Because many time I got the error for
Correct.
this condition.
Yeah, in list comprehension, if you're using if else, it should come
Okay.
before for. If you're
Okay.
using only if, then it should come after for.
Okay. Fine.
One small query.
Yes.
Is this live session like is it available on YouTube?
Sorry, Rohit. Is this live?
No, 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 no. Okay. Okay. Your voice is breaking actually.
Okay. He's saying it's being recorded. It will be posted in YouTube after a while. Okay.
Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. Can you share that playlist link?
This
Chat box?
sets or this collab.
He is talking about YouTube playlist where you will upload the
Okay.
video
Fine.
after
Yeah.
recording the session.
We will send a.
Ma'am, channel name?
It's Wayanad IITM.
Okay.
Actually, we will send the link in the group itself in all Wayanadians and stuff. Okay.
Ma'am,
Fine.
one
Let's.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello.
can I get that one? The OPP syllabus which you showed before. Can you share that? Because I'm not
This
getting it.
this
Yeah,
one.
if you share the link of this.
Okay. I just shared it in Meet. I shared it.
Can
Okay,
you
fine.
share that OPP PYQ document as well?
Yes, I will share this PYQ document. I will share this collab link, and I will share everything. Okay, at the end of the meet, or I'll just share it in group in the WhatsApp group.
But many are here from non-violence group as well. I mean,
Oh,
non
okay.
your house group. Yeah.
Okay, it's already 9 o'clock. Okay, so fine. Let's move on to the next question. I hope you understood this one. Okay. So this is a very easy one. You write a program that takes passage of lines and takes each lines all over case. So basically, here the hello world is given. If the thing is, they will ask you the number of inputs. Okay, first you need to get the number of inputs, and if the number of inputs is 2, you need to give 2 inputs. If the number of inputs 3, you need to give 3 inputs. Okay, so likewise. So and then if this take this hello world, you're taking this hello world. just take vowels. You're going to take the vowels and then you're going to uppercase. Do the uppercase on vowels, and then you're going to do lowercase for rest of the words or rest of the letters. That's what you need to do in this program. So take this Python programming, take all the vowels, and then do the uppercase, and then for the rest of them lowercase. So how to do this? You have two solutions for this. Basically, this is, see, they have stated something. This is an IO type question. You need to write the whole code for taking input and printing the output. So this is everything done by you. Okay, you can do this either by not using a function or by using a function. Okay, so I've given two solutions as well here. Okay, so basically without function, how you should do this? You're taking the input which is stored in n, and for I in range of n, okay, you're getting that many inputs in that is stored in line. Now the line as hello world. Okay, let's take for an example, and then the result, you're going to this join, right? This space dot join, which will actually join.
We don't know.
Okay, so this will actually join the two in like, not like two inputs, but this is used
Characters.
to, yeah, to characters or something. Okay, so c dot upper, okay, so here also they have used the list comprehension. So if c in a e I o u and or a e I o u, everything will be given, right? So h or p, it's not in. Okay, fine, no problem. So everything you give in a thing, whether it's a small or capital, everything you give in the vowels. So like they will only give small letters, or they will only give caps, but you basically need to give everything. Okay, so if c in this thing, or else okay, if c in this one, then you upper it. This, right, upper function. For making from lowercase to uppercase, you use upper function, and for making it lowercase you use lower function, which is all string functions. So basically, okay, so you got hello and stuff. Okay, so let's take this example, hello world, and then you're taking e o o. Those are the only things are vowels, right? So those are vowels and you're uppering it. So I mean, yeah, uppercase, right? Okay, so you take like e o.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. So the purpose of writing the join is to join the two words hello world. Am I right, ma'am?
Not like two words, hello world. This is not one word and this is not one word. You're joining these characters, e h, you're joining these characters. Okay,
Ma'am, can you tell the question again?
okay, so basically if there is a line, if there is a word that's given, okay, so you need to take the vowels from this one and you need to uppercase it, and all rest of the all letters you need to lowercase it. For example, in this hello world, you're lowering this h because it's not a vowel, but you're uppercasing this e because it's a vowel. Okay, so you're storing after this uppercase of vowels and lowercase of for all the rest of the elements. You're storing it in result. You're joining them, joining
Excuse
all
me,
those
ma'am.
characters
What
and
is
storing it
C?
in result. Yes.
Excuse
Ma'am,
me,
I
what
don't
is
get it. What's the
C, ma'am?
purpose of join?
Okay, so basically, wait.
Can I take that? See, basically, join at the parameter for join is an iterable. Okay, iterable means it can be a list, can be a tuple, anything. Okay, before join, you're putting a upper apostrophe, no, like two apostrophes. Inside that, whatever value you give, that value will be appended in between each of these iterables. For example, in join, like apostrophe hyphen dot join of 1 2 3 4 5, you'll get 1 hyphen 2 hyphen 3 hyphen 4 hyphen 5. Did you get that? So basically, whatever string you put in front of join, that will come in between all the elements in the iterable. Did you understand that much?
So you mean like a space after a character?
If I pass a list of 1 2 3 4 5 to the join with a hyphen and hyphen before it, it will give me 1 hyphen 2 hyphen 3 hyphen 4 hyphen 5. This much
Okay.
are you able to understand? It's
So
joining
Yeah.
for example, if I what he's trying to say is,
yeah,
if I give hello, so like this it
yeah,
will.
yeah.
But if you're just printing an empty space, this is an empty space, not a space, but it's an empty space. Can you actually mute it? It's okay. So this is an empty space. Okay, this is not a space like this. This is an empty space. So yeah, if you do this, then you're basically combining everything like this.
Okay, so we didn't just put any space. We just okay, okay,
So since we're
okay, got
not
it.
giving anything, it's just taking all the characters in this iterable and then joining it without putting anything in between.
Okay, okay.
You are Lakshmi. I think see your teaching is good, but if you can go a little slow, I think people are not able to follow you. Just a feedback. Just letting you know.
Okay, fine.
Lakshmi,
But the
one
thing is,
question is here. In a if condition, we put if C in a AEIAU in a small case and uppercase. Why
mm,
would take both of them here? It was only one
sorry,
vowel.
are you asking like it will take A as well as this A? What's your actual question?
Question is here. Here we are taken the all vowel case in upper and lower case.
Yeah.
My question
So
is here.
whatever, yeah.
If
See,
we yeah.
your question is basically, if I give E in caps, it's going to give E in caps only because E is oh, I have disturbed here. Okay, because E is an vowel, right? So if my input has E in caps, then then it should actually give my output E in caps only because that's my question. That's why I given here. Are you asking like why I've given caps also?
Yes, yes. Why are
Yeah,
you?
because in input I might have caps and capital letters and vowels, right? Are you
Okay.
getting?
Pankaj, please mute your mic.
Ma'am, can you please tell what is C here?
Mm, sorry, what is E here?
C for cat.
C is nothing but iterating variable. You can even put I, but you need to iterate I also.
Ma'am, why we are just using the join? I don't get it. Why?
See, basically, you're using because these are characters. Like without join, just see the output.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I got it. I got it. Okay.
See, it's not
Okay,
join.
okay. So joint will
Yeah, join is
concatenate.
something very important function you need to learn, which will actually join the characters if they are separate, like in this function.
Oh, so joint will be only
Excuse
accessible
me.
for only string. I mean characters,
Yeah, only or numbers
not
even.
for intent. Yeah.
For numbers even, you can use for
Okay,
numbers.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Hello,
Yes.
hello. Can you display once again the problem statement of this question?
Ma'am, excuse ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, why we have to use the for loop afterwards if else, like after if else? Why can't we use before, ma'am, before if else for loop?
Okay, so that's what we actually discussed before. If and else both conditions you are going to provide, then it should be before for loop. But only if the condition is only if you're going to provide, then it can be after for loop.
Can it be for before, ma'am? Can it be?
You're
No, it
asking
can't
whether,
be. No, it can't
yeah,
be.
they are saying it will be an error. For example, let me just wait. Why this is an error? That's right.
Ma'am, but you have said na ma'am in the earlier, after for we will use if conditions. Can you explain this clearly, ma'am?
Okay.
Ma'am, you have a spelling mistake in H double L. You should.
Sorry, what I missed again?
इनपुट में तो आपने स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक किया है H E double L हेलो होगा और कोड
No,
में
no,
शायद
that's not a problem. Input I can give anything, but I don't know why it's not running.
oh you
Uh,
are not taking the user inputs sorry
for condition I is missing. I is missing. The line.
For I in range, you are using a
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
That doesn't matter.
yeah, that doesn't
That
matter,
doesn't
right?
matter.
The thing is, I changed I here. So if there is any C, no, right? I changed I for everything.
You are
I,
using I here in the condition.
you are denoting indexing as a I, but you in for loop for then you are using the
I in a result condition you are using
Correct, bro.
I. You have to
hmm,
use I in a for loop condition.
hmm. You have to replace by I in the
In the result line condition
hmm,
before the A O U I in A I
that's right
replace
only, no?
is
That's
replace
correct
it
itself,
by
no?
dash
It doesn't matter,
dash.
no?
Yes, it
No, it doesn't.
matters.
See,
You are
yes
guys,
matters, it matters.
iterating over the loop.
for I in line, if I is in this one, and it's going to I dot upper. If it's not, then I dot lower. It's right. It's definitely right. My system fault. Wait,
You
I'll just
just go to the run and delete the running instance.
Reconnect. Try to reconnect the collab. It may be okay.
okay. It's still running. Okay, fine. It's right.
Correct. It's correct, ma'am.
Okay, let's go to next question. Do you guys have any questions here? One guy asked a question for this one.
So
Ma'am,
actually, we are doing.
how are we taking two inputs?
Sorry.
How are we taking two inputs together? I don't understand that. I mean, not to
Ah,
like.
because
Uh,
you're taking two inputs,
as
right?
in-
So you're iterating two times. For I in range of n only you're doing. So you're taking two inputs. I mean, here I've taken one. If you want two means you can put two inputs like hello you can give, and then next part world you can give. Because for two times you're iterating through this function. These
okay, ma'am.
three times.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Thank
So, in this result, first we are just doing if or else, and then we are just doing for loop. Am I right, ma'am?
Okay, so this one many people have doubt. Okay, so basically, if you are using this list comprehension, if you're going to do if as well as else condition, okay, so you have to do before for loop. This is for loop. You have to do before for loop if there is two conditions, like if as well as else. But if there is only like else, sorry, if there is only if condition, like we saw before, right? Yeah, here.
Yeah.
So if there is only if condition, you need to check whether it's only odd or even, something like that. You can use it after for loop.
Okay,
Here
ma'am. Okay.
you can
Thank you
use
so much.
before for loop. Here you should use before for loop if and else.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
If you use it after for loop, it will result in no error. I will just run it. Invalid syntax. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I got
What
it,
is the
ma'am. Thank you
condition
so
in
much.
the else block statement? If the else block executed, what is the output?
No, no, no. It's not like that. If it's low, if it's for example, if it's I in vowels, then it's going to upper the see uppercase the vowels. Okay, but if it's low, if it's not in vowel means if for example the hello in H, the H part is not a vowel, right? Here the H part is not a vowel, which means it's an else condition. So it's going to lower that variable. See, it's lowering that variable.
Okay.
So that's why it's using that. Okay,
Actually,
guys.
ma'am, here, sorry to interrupt. Before for loop, we actually use ternary operator like this. Here, it is this is the ternary operator. So, you of a
Can
string and
someone's mute? Yeah, fine. Sorry, what's your question again?
before for loop, we use ternary operator. Actually, this is the ternary operator syntax. If
Okay.
condition is true, we are just upper the character. If
Yes.
else, lower the character, and
Yes.
after that for loop. If we want any condition, suppose index is 2, then if index of the string is 2. On this we perform any operation. After that we put this if condition, right?
You're asking whether if you're having only one condition, you have to put it after for loop. That's
Yes.
what,
Yes.
yeah, you can put you should actually put that. See, for example, here that's what I told before. If there is only one condition, you should put it after for loop. If there are two conditions like if else, you should put before for loop, like this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am,
So
actually, in every question, you just wrote for and underscore
yeah,
in range.
instead of this
Underscore
underscore,
is.
you can put I, or you can put any variable.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sorry, maybe
Okay.
silly. Sorry, ma'am.
What? Okay, fine. Yeah. So this is like two solution I've given using without using function and with using function. You can do the same thing by using function. While answering the question no pace, you might have some psychology. So you thought of doing only for loop and not function. It's up to you. It's entirely up to you. You can do anything. If they are saying it's a whole code should be written by you, means you can do a function or you can do without function. Okay, fine. So this is
So
section
there
3.
is two solution of the previous problem in section 2, problem 2.
Yes, without function one solution and with function one solution.
Hmm.
Here whatever function name you're giving, that's what you need to call. Okay.
Ma'am, at the end of the session, will you share this Google Doc with us?
Yes, we will share. Okay guys, section 3. Okay, section 3 carries like two questions and each question is 15 marks. So you have to finish this question, at least one question, like within 15 minutes or something. Okay, 15 marks, 15 minutes. Okay, so given a data of student marks, okay, this is how the questions will be. Since it's OPPE one, they will slightly vary, but this is how actually the questions will be. So they will give this data, and they want you to print like above average or the failure students or toppers and the actual data. I mean the actual scores of the people. And this 101 is nothing but the student IDs. Okay, 101, 102. Wait. This is roll number. First one is roll number, and next one is marks. Write a function to filter student roll numbers over marks. Right. Okay. So average. Yes. So this you're going to do based on a function, because if you do it based on a function, it will be easy for you to get for each things. If you're not doing without function, you have to do for all things. I mean, they will give like you have to do it without function or with function. This is a function type question, so they have given. Okay, this is a function type question. You don't have to take input or print output. Just have to complete the required function definition. Okay, you can define helper functions if needed. So how they will ask the question? Let's see. So they will give this. You don't need to type everything. They will give this function name and everything. So here you need to type your answers like this. Okay. So basically you need to print above average, fail, and toppers, and then the student data, right? So if okay, so you're basically iterating and they have given. And first of all, for above average, you need the average marks, right? Because that's when you need to you can calculate above average marks. So based on this value, this you can use this as a threshold value to calculate the above average marks. So to calculate average, means, right? So sum of marks for marks in data and divided by the length of the data. The mean formula, sum of observations divided by the number of observations. So that's exactly you're doing here, but in code type. So see here also the list comprehension is useful, but you can use, I mean, you can do this line like this also. Sorry. For I in data, and see I'm using the same
Ma'am,
variable as
instead
how
of
they're doing.
instead of giving underline symbol after for, we can use the row comma marks in that test, no?
Sorry, what?
In the line number 2. After
Mhm.
for, we can replace this symbol with roll comma marks.
This one you're asking?
Hmm.
You can use I, you can use whatever you want.
Ma'am, why is I comma used?
That's common. Is
Basically, underscore means you're not going to use that variable anywhere inside the code. That's why you give. It's
and
like
I
a
is
case
also
No, because ma'am using roll for all for roll comma marks in the return statement. That's why I'm asking if he used the roll comma marks in the
no.
in
Basically, underscore is a placeholder. If you don't, you're not going to use that inside your block.
no. He is asking why that is I is common, not underscore.
Unable to understand, too much echo.
too much echoing from some other sides. Oh, ma'am, we are not able to hear you.
Okay. Is anyone having doubt?
Ma'am, can you write one more code without using list comprehension?
Yes, that's what I'm
Ma'am,
doing.
can you explain this whole thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, okay.
So sum is equal to, okay. So you're going to do the marks, right? Okay. I. So what you're having in I is that this is the whole thing you're having in I. So in I you want to get the 85. So this is 0 and this is 1. So you're going to get, so that's what you're going to sum it. And then average is nothing but the sum divided by the length of this data. Length of the data means 1 2 3 4 5. So we're having 5 data, so that's what you get here. And you have to put this outside the for loop. So you're getting sum here, some of the marks here in sum. Okay, so you have to define the sum, right? Yes, it works. Yeah, okay, it works fine. So this is with comprehension and this is without comprehension. So you're basically defining some variable where you're summing the marks, and then you're iterating each variable, each data's here. So this is how your data will be, and they will give you a question. And your for summing the marks, you have to get this variable, and this is one from data, and in that one you need to get this 85 means. So you're iterating through one I in one. Okay, and then you're summing it and storing all the marks in sum. So now you have the summation of all the observations, and then I mean all the marks, and then dividing by this you will give the average. So now the criteria is going to be above average means, if they are giving above average means, so that's why you're doing this if condition. If this is above average, then what you need to do is for roll comma, this is like new thing that you're doing, right? For roll, okay, for roll comma marks, correct only. So for roll comma marks in data, if marks is greater than the average, then you're going to print that roll number. That's it. Are you guys getting?
So
So
comma
this
is like
yes, this
showing
one,
some uniqueness. Am I right, ma'am?
this is what it's roll comma marks
Oh,
is
okay, 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 ma'am. Okay, thank you.
representing. So this is roll and this is marks. So this is in data. If marks is greater than this average, then it's going to print that roll number. This is simple, right? But we can even write it like if this is not acceptable for you, then you can go like for I in data even, then or yeah, you can go like I in data. If I of 1 is greater than this average, then you are going to or return here, this is a function, return this I of 0. Yes,
You have to accumulate it into a list and then return at the end.
sorry.
You have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
accumulate
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. Okay, so you have to append it to the list, right? So your output is going to be in list form. So yeah, so in which list are we going to append is that we can basically append, have to
You
create.
can initialize one in the beginning. Yeah.
Ma'am, why is that roll comma marks used? For roll comma marks, why is that used?
You don't even need to use that.
No, you need to
Ah,
use
you need to
because you're
use because
passing it.
you need to, you need to print that roll number only. See here, what they're asking is in the question, if you see list of what you need to return, the list of roll numbers matching the criteria or none if invalid criteria. Okay, so you basically need to return the roll numbers only. So that's why
So
here,
why are you using that comma, ma'am, in the middle?
because it's in the comma only. The data is in
Ah, correct.
roll number and marks, comma marks, right? So roll number, comma
Yes.
marks in data. So if marks is lesser than average, then you're going to print that roll number.
Okay, ma'am, understood.
That is for below average. And for above average, if mark is greater than average, then you're going to append it to the list and then print it.
And so the conditions are given in the question, ma'am, like criteria below
Yes.
average, then it should be marks less than.
Yes, it's given in the question. List of tuples, the criteria for filtering. Um, yeah, see here it's given above average is student with.
Ah, okay,
This is
okay,
how the
okay.
questions will be. Actually, this is how the
Okay,
questions
ma'am.
they will give in the interpreter. So you
Okay,
have to
ma'am.
answer accordingly. So this is above average, this is below average, and fail. They will give
Okay,
you this one
okay.
marks less than, and if it's only less than, you have to use only less than. See less than. But if they are giving
Okay.
equal to also equal to 14 means, then you have to do equal to. So this is where many people mistake. This is also a place where many people mistake. They will forget equal to. So you have to read question once again after you have answered. Okay, answer or written the code. You have to read
Okay,
the
ma'am.
and see here for toppers students with marks 90 or above. So it's above 90 or equal to 90.
Actually, in the NAN, why they just didn't write marks instead of marks? Why they just write some underscore in none for roll comma underscore?
Yeah, you
A
can even
criteria
put
is none.
underscore. You can even put underscore, but you have to put underscore here too. That's what you're
No,
asking
no.
for.
I mean in LF criteria equal is none. Just before else before one LF, the last before one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Um,
For roll,
uh,
comma there should be marks here. No. Then why just wrote underscore? Is it correct or am I
I mean,
just getting a
underscore refers
confusion?
like no data, I guess here. Or wait, no.
Ma'am, I think it doesn't. It doesn't
No,
get to know, ma'am.
generally underscore is used as a practice. Underscore is used as a placeholder. If you're not going to use that variable in anywhere inside the block, you can always give underscore.
Okay. Okay.
That's a
Okay. Thank you,
practice.
sir. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But even if you don't give underscore, give marks, it will work. But
Okay.
underscore
Okay.
is generally for readability. Like anyone who's reading your code will understand that that variable is not being used. That's why they're given it as underscore.
Okay. Thank you, brother.
Okay.
Also, that accumulation in the upper part, like you are like on L plus equal to I of 0, and you have to return the list and the next line outside the loop.
L plus equal to.
Yeah, correct. Now you have to return the L outside the loop for loop.
I mean, it's outside loop only.
No, it's inside for loop. For if return, that return L should come on the next line outside the loop. No, only return L. See, I understand if someone is getting confused, that's why I'm correcting. But I understand what it is.
This is not right actually.
Yeah, you have to no L plus equal to I of 0 is right.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
In the next line you have to return L
Yes, yes,
outside
yes.
the loop.
Yes, yes.
You have to append one to the left. It's still inside the loop, return of L. Correct.
Okay. So now this question. This is easy. Okay, this is the last program in this set one. Yeah, actually in set one. Okay, so we have to print pattern V. Okay, this is like very common question in all OPs, pattern V or pattern star, like this. So given an integer, whatever you have to take an input from user, that is n, and then V shaped pattern with n rows. So if the input is like 1 means it's just V. Okay, but if the input is 2 means the input should be like this. I mean the output should be like this. Okay, but if the input is 3 means the output should be like this. So like 3 rows of V, and the size should be decreased for each and every rows. So how to do this is that we can even do this in one line, or if you want type it for like 10 lines you can do that. So we are getting n from input, and then we are iterating for n minus 1 rows, because for here we are printing only backslashes and this, right? So n minus 1, for n minus 1 lines we are printing for backslashes and front slashes. Okay, but in the last line if you see we are printing only V, so that's why we are iterating for n minus 1. Okay, so basically n equal to 5 means for 4 lines we are iterating this backslash and front slash. Okay, next only we are in the last line we are giving 5. So you guys getting why we are doing n minus 1, right?
Yes, ma'am. I have got it, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So next thing is, so now how to print this V, or how to print the second line. So print this space into I. Space into I refers to, for example, is for now I is equal to n minus 1, right? So I is equal to, it starts with 0.
0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
0 plus which means 0 means I into, I mean space into 0 means there's no space, so that's why we are starting with no space at all. So plus, this refers to front slashes, right?
Escape sequence.
Escape sequence.
Slash.
Yes, slashes, yes. Okay, so plus, and then we are doing this, but we are, yeah. So why there is like double slashes here is that this is a escape sequence obviously, and if you print only one slashes it prints an error, because you cannot give an escape or print slashes in like within quotes, right? You guys know that escape sequence, right? The story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you're
Yes.
giving this as a double slashes, whereas this backslash you can give. This is common in Python, but this front slash is like you have to give only 2 slashes, because it's an escape character and it cannot be within quotes. It gives a syntax error or something. Okay, so you're printing this one. Now this part is done. But how you can give this space is that two. Okay, again the space into 2 into n minus I minus 1. So let's do the calculation. Now I is 0 and n is 5. So 5 minus 0 minus 1 is 4. So then 4 minus 1 is 3. So 2 into 3, 6 spaces plus this. Okay, so you're going to reduce each on every row, right? Each and every row spaces. So for that, if there are 5 input, and there's going to be 6 spaces in between them. If there are in the second row 5 spaces, and then third row 4 spaces, so this I will make it reduce the number of spaces between the slashes. So yeah, so for the second one, second iteration, this is going to be 1. So 1 into space, so this will give you 1 space between in front of the slash, and you're printing the slash, and then 2 into n, this is 5. 5 minus 2, right? Now we are at 1. So 5 minus 1 is 3, minus 1 is 2. So 2 to the 4. So basically here you're getting 4. 5 minus 1 minus 1, 0. So 5 minus
Is
1
it
is,
like into 2 after multiply by 2 we should minus 1?
yes, we should multiply by 2 first.
Okay.
Okay, so 5 minus 1 is what? 3. So 6 minus 1, 5. Okay, so here's 6 spaces, and here's 5 spaces, 5 and 4, 3, 2. Okay, so basically you're doing this. So that's how you're printing. That's how you're printing this pattern. Actually, in question, how you know it's 6 spaces, or how you know it's 5 spaces? Is that okay? V-shaped pattern with red rows. A single integer present.
Actually, how we can find the how much space between the two slashes?
Sorry, what's your question?
How can we find the number of spaces between the two
Yeah,
slashes?
that's what I'm searching.
Okay, 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 okay.
Whether they
Okay.
have given a question or not. They have not given a question. A single integer number of rows.
I think we can visualize through the example outputs.
They will not give example outputs.
So if it
We
like if
can
n is equal to 5, then it will be
Let
v.
me
Then if n
one
is equal to
one
4,
minute.
it will be no space like that. Is it like reversed manner? I should see how the spaces. Am I right, ma'am?
in a,
One
in
minute.
a in a OPP PYQ there is an example given for the pattern printing.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm asking. Lakshmi, will the examples be provided?
So usually examples you can see in like public test cases. So if you like scroll down, you can see public test cases, what
Yeah,
is
like
the
expected
input
output, right?
and expected output.
Yeah,
From
okay.
there you
So in
might
a
get. If
GRPA, we usually do, right? Like what we are expecting the output like that. So the same wise will be given OPA also as well. So you can see it in public test cases, right? So that's why you can find how much space you need to give here.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I want to ask
why the I is used
for
here,
the
ma'am?
Why I is used in the middle
Yes, ma'am.
here or here?
After the star symbol, ma'am.
See, that's how you're calculating the number of spaces to leave this side to the left of the slashes. To the right of
Ma'am,
slashes, they're not giving any spaces. I mean,
then why is that after the for loop is used? After the for loop also you have given space. Why is that required?
right? This one, right? For
Yeah,
printing
ma'am.
V.
Why?
For printing V, you have to print in the middle, right? You're not going to print in this side, this left part. You have to print in the middle. So that's why you're calculating this one. So uh, for that you're calculating the spaces between this starting to the middle part. So for that you're using this n minus 1 formula. That's how you
Okay,
can
fine,
calculate
ma'am.
the middle part.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, understood.
See, for
I do the
example, if
pattern
n is
solving
5 means
problem. I want to ask a question. I do the patterns printing problem, but in public test it pass the all test cases, but in a private test it give an error and not pass all test cases. What is the error behind it?
it depends on question.
Pattern printing on X, simple.
Pattern printing on X, okay. Like what kind of pattern? Yeah, okay. So for now, I'll share this link, okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I'll share it in this meet itself, and then this Python compiler too, right? This share thing. Yeah. So Lakshmi, can you take over the set 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, guys. So now that we are little short on time, I'll try to complete it as early as possible. Let me know if my screen is visible. Okay. Um, can you see my screen?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is set 3. Okay, if you have the question with you, you can go and refer the question, or else I've already pasted the questions here. So we'll just read through it and do one by one.
Ma'am, one thing
Yeah.
for partially test cases passes if then partial marking will be given, or
Yeah, partial marks. If out of like seven
Hmm.
private test, you
Hmm.
passed five private tests, then you will get marks for that five private test.
Okay.
Okay. And also in OPP, like end goal is like somehow pass all the private test. No matter what code you're writing, like it might not be the same code that is being taught in the lectures, or from somewhere else you got another method of doing. It is not the method, it's like final answer should be able to get the output. So for the same problem, you might have a better way of solving it. Okay. Now, first question again, as you had already given the same pattern. Section ones are easy. Section two is comparatively like moderate, and section three is like the most difficult. Okay. Now, starting with section one, this is our question. We have to write a function, and the function name is given diff by exactly one. Okay. That takes three integers num, a, and b. The function should return true if num is divisible by exactly one of the numbers a or b and false otherwise. So what happens is generally people will okay, I'll increase my font size. Please let me know if the font size, brightness and all is okay, otherwise I'll do the changes. Is it fine now? Okay.
Yeah,
So
ma'am.
yeah, thank you. So generally, what people do is that they see question and think it's very simple, and like jump to doing that question, but there will be minor errors. So first of all, take your time to read and understand the question properly. Okay. So what are they telling? If that number should be divisible by only one of the two numbers. Even if the number is divisible by both the numbers, then the output should be false. Only if the number is divisible by exactly one of the two numbers, then we will print true. So is the question clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And they have also given examples. So if examples are not given in the question part of your OPP, scroll down and go and check the public test cases. So you can get examples from there. So basically, if the number is 20 and A is 5 and B is 6, what will this print? It will print true because only one number is divisible. Whereas if it was 5 and 10, it should print false because 20 is divisible by both. Now, what is another possibility here? 26 and 7. 20 is not divisible by both of them. So it will print false. What we need is exactly one number. Then again, one another factor is basically you should use the same function names. Okay. Usually the template is given in your coding platform in the OPP. So you don't have to write all this. This would be given. You can just start coding in this portion. You can either delete this part and start coding, or you can write your code right after this. Press enter and write after this. Okay. So basically, what I have done here is I have put a variable divisible by a and checked if num percentage a equal to 0. So now what is percentage? It's an arithmetic operator, basically a reminder or modulus, right? It gives you the reminder. So if the number is divisible by a, completely divisible, then the remainder should be 0. And this is like a Boolean expression, right? And Boolean expression will always result in true or false. So now if the number is divisible by a, this variable will store true. If it is not, then it will be stored as false. Similarly, I also made a variable for divisible by b. Now how can we have to ultimately return true or false, right? So now in the final part, mm, how I have written is, maybe you might have a better code. How I have written is, I'm checking divisible by a and not divisible by b. So this is basically a combination of logical operators. So when you have not basically is negation. Whatever was the result you got, you will put the opposite of it. So maybe let's try with an example. Okay. And for your information, you don't have to write this part. You will only write till this. To just make you understand better, I'm giving it an example and checking the code. So now when I'm giving 26 and 10, what will happen here? Divisible by a will become 20 percentage 6. Is it equal to 0? No, 20 is not divisible by 0. So divisible by a will become false. Now 20 divisible by 10, yes. So divisible by b is true. So I'm just writing the values here, false, and here true. Now come here. Divisible by A is false and divisible by B is true. So now not this variable will become false. This whole part will become false. Okay. And this was already false. And you already know and will return true only if both the conditions are true. Here we got both as false. So this whole part is now false. Okay. Similarly, we'll check with this case also. That means if it is only divisible by b, that is what we are checking with this expression, right? So divisible by b is what? True, and not divisible by a will become what? True, right? Because divisible by a was false and not divisible by a will become true. And now you have two true expressions on each side of and, right? So now this whole expression will evaluate to true. So now what have we got? False or true. Have you understood till here? Okay. So now false or true. Now what is the specialty of or logic operator is that or needs only one, at least one operator, not only, sorry, at least one operator to be true to return true. So now we have one operator, this highlighted part as true. So we will get the result as true. Okay. So that is how I have done this. If you want, we can check with another um, value also. Let's say 5 and 10. So ideally it should return false, right? Yes, it is returning false. For your exam, you don't have to write this part. I'm deleting it. Okay. Now that was the first question. Any doubts? Okay. Now coming to section 2. It was much a very simple question, right? Now the next question in section 1 is given a string date, a date in the string format in mmddyy, you have to convert it into yydd. So they have given the format already, how the input and how the output should be. And they have also mentioned that it will be in the string format, right? So also read these note what they have given. This is a function type question, so you don't have to take input or print the output. Just as you did fill in the blanks in schools, you just have to complete the function in the given space, this space. Okay. So they will be given in your exam portal, or till here it will be given. Okay. So again, function name they have given as mmddyy to yydd. This function takes date as a parameter and date in the form of a string. So you will be given the parameter like this format and you have to return it in this format. So what I have done, I have declared three variables mmddyy. This is multiple assignment. If you remember, you can give multiple assignment to variables, right? Multiple assignment of variables, I believe you have learned. Now what is happening? My input date string, I'm giving a function date dot split off. Now what does split off function does in Python is basically it will split a sequence into different parts and return it as a list. Okay. And you can, by default it is space, uh, but you can indicate the separator that you want to use. Now we want to get it separately mmddyy, right? And the symbol that we can use to separate that is this hyphen. That is why we have given hyphen. And remember to give it in the quotes because this is a string. So if you want, like, is this part clear? Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm also believing that you have been taught f strings, that is formatted strings. So basically formatted strings is easier to work on. You don't have to have the worry of like typing everything manually. So f strings, usually there are different formats. One of the format is you give f, then in the quotes you will write the variables in curly brackets. So in what format do you want? We want in yydd. So I am taking these variable names directly and putting it in curly brackets. Curly bracket one may it would be yy. Then I need a hyphen. Then again in another curly bracket, I am saying from here, take the DD value and put it here. Then I'm telling put a hyphen. Then I'm telling from this value, bring the value here and put. And this whole expression would be returned to me as the output of the function. Okay. Now again, this part you need not write in exam. I'm here. I have written this only to show you guys. So now let's check with this value. So you can see that a date is given in a string format, and it is returning in YY format, right? Is this question clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now moving on to the third question. So we are still in section 1. Moving on to the third question, which is basically a dictionary question. So
Ma'am,
again,
can you explain the split function again?
which function?
Split, ma'am.
Split. Okay. So basically, split is a string function that you can use. So for example, I will, okay, let me just correct. I'm saying, I'll just print and show it to you, okay? So that you can understand what is happening. So if I'm printing this and showing it to you, let it be here. Okay. So print of I have a string like this, suppose. Okay. And I'm saying this string applies split function and split it using this symbol. Now what will this print? It gives me a list of comma separated values of uh, the string separated into three different values with the symbol that I've told. So another way, if it's a word, okay, if I'm writing my name, Lakshmi dot split off with nothing. So by default, the symbol used for splitting is space. Um, okay, I should have written something else also. I'm just writing, okay. See how they have given. So split off function is used to split a string into different parts. By default, how will they split? Using space. But if you want to split it with respect to a symbol that is there in your string already, you can specify that inside the parentheses. Is it clear?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So now moving on to the next question. Next question is a dictionary question. So I hope you are familiar with the basics of dictionary. So dictionary is a data type where key value pairs are there, right? So this is a dictionary and it is in curly brackets, and multiple data types can come. So if you just look at this dictionary example here, X, Y, Z, what are those? They are
Keys, ma'am.
keys. Yes, yes. And 535 are values.
Values.
Okay. And now how do we access values in a dictionary? By calling the dictionary with its key. Right? So like these are the very basic things you need to know when it comes to a dictionary. Now what is the question? We'll read the question. Write a function increment value with max limit. So this is your function name and you are supposed to use the same function name in your question, okay, in your answer. That increments the value for a specified key in a dictionary by a given increment value inc. However, the value should not exceed a specified maximum limit. Okay. And they have told assume the dictionary values are only integers, and if the resulting value after incrementing is greater than the limit, it should be capped at the limit. Did you understand anything of the question? If not, don't worry, we will look at the example. So if there
No,
is a
ma'am.
question, okay, it's okay, totally normal. If in exam you encounter a question where after reading you are not able to understand, immediate thing you have to do and see is the example. Okay. either the example given as part of the question or the public test cases, and try to understand from the examples, because that is much easier to understand than by reading the question. Okay, so now given if this is your D, okay, and key value they are telling is 5, sorry, y, inc is the increment 5, limit is 5, and then they are calling the function. So this function has four parameters passed as input. D, which is the dictionary, key is the key for which you have to change the value. Okay, and inc is increment, by how much should I increase the value of that particular key. And limit is, we are keeping, the question says that you should keep a limit, max cap, so that even after adding this value inc, wait, even after adding this value inc to the value of the key, if it increases the limit value, you should print the limit and not the added value. Let's look at the example. So this is our dictionary, and this is what we passed, y55 with D, right? So how will this work? The function should ideally go and retrieve the value of key y. What is the value of y, current value?
5.
5. And then the function should add the inc value, which is 5 here, to this value of the key. So what will it do? It will add 5 plus 5, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is the original dictionary, this is the output. Okay, I'm sorry guys. Okay, so the value of y initially is 3, and then we have to add 5 to it. So 5 plus 3 will become what? 8.
8.
I'm sorry, someone asked you something. Okay, so it will become 8. But then we have given a limit value, which is like the maximum value that we can allow for the value of the key. What is it that we are given? It should be 5. But now we got as 8, no? So it has told, in the question, it is being told that if the added value, the sum you got is greater than the limit value you have given, the final output will print that as the limit value. That is why here it has come by a value of key y is 5 and not as 8. Did you get a somewhat idea of what the question is trying to ask you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is why I told, if you're not able to understand with the question, go to the example and relate it with the question and see. You would get a better picture. Now, how to implement this? Very simple. Again, first I'll have to go and retrieve the value of the key. So first I'm telling, if that particular key is in D, because any user can arbitrarily, give any key value which might not be there in the D also in our dictionary. So to be on the safer side, we just put an if also, so that only if the key is found in D, we'll execute our program. So if key in D, if you find the key in D, then take the D value, key value of that key, the value of the key, and we are going to change it. So this is how you can modify or update the value of a key. You will call it by D of key equal to, then you do the modification, right? Now, how should I modify it? I can either do this, which is current value of the key plus the INC value, the increment, or I will simply update the key value to limit. Now, how will I decide which one to do? This expression or this? What we are looking? Minimum of both. Whichever is the minimum value, I will update with that value. It's just these two lines and your answer is done. Okay. Now we will check if what I'm being saying is correct or not, right? Mm,
Shouldn't it be if key in D dot keys?
that D dot keys will give you a list of keys. When you want to directly, so what happens is, in list you can write for mm, what? Forget what I told. Basically, one part of dictionary basics is that if you want to check if a key is present, you can use the in operator, which is like the membership operator, right? So what it checks is that if that particular key value is there in the dictionary, you don't have to separately go and give d dot keys.
Got it.
Okay, this will also work. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Uh, okay, now I'll just see. Uh, Okay, so let's look what is happening here. We had given D, and what are we telling? Uh, this is our dictionary D that we are giving to the program, and we are saying change the value for the key Y, which is now 3, increment it by 5 so that it will become 8, but the limit is 6. So what should it print? 6 and not 8. So it is working fine, right? Is this question clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, now moving to the section 2. Okay, now in section 2, what is our question? Given a sentence, find the last word that starts with an uppercase letter. If no such word exists, return none. Words in the sentence are separated by spaces. Assume no punctuations will be present. So, did you understand the question? They will be giving you a sentence, and from that, the last word which has a capital letter as the starting letter you have to print. If there is no such word, matlab all the words in the sentence are starting with small letters, you will return none. Is the question understood? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and they have given a example also, so you can check the example. I'm going to the code directly. So again,
Ma'am, can you explain the question again? Sorry.
okay. So let's try with example this time. So if we are giving this sentence, okay, this is a string as the input to the function. This is a test sentence. What I'm saying is that my function should ideally return the word test, because this is the last word in this whole sentence that starts with a capital letter. Okay, right? Whereas if I'm inputting a sentence like this, where everything is in small letters, no uppercase words, so that's my sentence, it should return none, because there is no word which starts with a capital letter here. If there is a word which starts with a capital letter in the sentence, and if that word um, sorry, uh, function should ideally work like the last word in that particular sentence which will start with the capital letter. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, a small doubt.
Yeah.
Let's take the example is this is a test sentence, and
Okay.
let's say that the capital T in test is actually small case, and like the capital T is only present in the word this.
Uh-huh.
So then, will the last word be considered as this, or will there actually be no last word in that
No,
sentence?
it will be considered as this.
So the last word will be this. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. So now, so see, all these possibilities, like what she asked now, you have to keep in mind, because you don't know what the private test cases inputs are. So maybe these are the possibilities where you are failing one of the private test. So your program should be such that, your code should be such that it accommodates for all possibilities that can come in this particular question. Okay. Now again, what I'm doing, words equal to sentence dot split off. Sentence is a string, and I'm splitting it. Earlier, the example that I've shown, since I'm not using anything inside this parenthesis, how will it split? Using the space, right? So if this sentence, this is a test sentence, what will happen for this sentence over here? It will be splitted into, this is a test sentence, 5 different word strings, and will be stored in the list called words. Okay. Now I'm initializing a variable last upper word to be none. I'm initializing it none. We will change it as we go. Okay. Now what is happening? This words variable is a list. Okay. By default, anything you apply split function, it will return a list. So words is a list. Now what am I doing here? For word in words, I'm accessing each element of the list called words one by one. Right? And what should I check? I should check if the first letter of that word is a capital letter. So I'm checking if word of zero, that means if the first letter of the word, is it a capital letter or not? If it's a capital letter, I will update my last upper word to this word. Okay. And then this will keep on doing till the all the words in this particular list has been covered. So by default or automatically, your variable will have the last word of that sentence, which will have a capital letter. And after you come out of the for loop, once you have gone through every word in that sentence, you are asking the function to return what is the value in last upper word. Okay. So is the code clear? If it is, we will go and see if it is working fine. Okay. Let's run. See, it's working fine. This is a test sentence. Now, as she told, let's keep this as small. Now, what will it show? This. If this was also a small letter, then it should show none. Clear? Okay. Um, you only have to write it till here, okay? You don't have to try to do that. Now, the next question in section 2. Let's read. Given multiple lines of input, modify the lines as follows. So, you will be given many lines. You will have to do the following. What you have to do? Swap every two consecutive lines, reverse every odd numbered line in the output sequence. So basically, let's go to the example and see. If you are given 5 lines, okay, apple, orange, pineapple, mango, kiwi. This is your input. How should your output look like? Like this. So what is happening here? First, I have swapped between the first and second line. So now orange came first and apple came second. Next, I'm swapping between the next 2 lines, mango and pineapple. And then the last line, we don't have anything to swap with, so we will keep it as it is. Now, is it what all they have asked us to do? No. They have told us to do one more thing, right? They have told us you have to reverse every odd numbered line in the output sequence. So please read it 2 times. What are they telling? In the odd numbered line, you have to reverse every word. But after swapping, you have to reverse, not before swapping. Okay. So now this is your first line, which is a odd number. One is odd number. So I reverse the word. Next odd number is 3. So which is the third line? I reverse the word. Next odd number is 5. So I reverse the word. So this is what you should do. Now, we also have to look at the note, which is very important, right? What have they told? This is an input output type question, and you need to write the whole code for taking input and printing the output. So this is not like the questions where we have done till now. What we have to do, you will ask the user for the input and you will have to print the output, not like the function questions what we have did till now. So is the question clear and what you are supposed to do clear? Hello.
Ma'am, at
You,
first we have to swap.
first you will swap, and then in the swapped output, the odd numbered lines, you will reverse the words, because they have
Okay.
told that reverse it in the output sequence, right? That's why I told you have to read it very carefully. Now, I'll go to the code. So, since they have asked us to take the input, so we'll have to write the code for taking the input from the user. So, first we will have to ask them how many lines are they going to write. That is what we are doing by this line. N equal to int of input of. If you want, you can give a text here saying enter the number of lines, right? And then this is the list comprehension that earlier you also used. How will you understand this? How will you make sense of this list comprehension? read from here. So basically for, let this be a variable. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let it be I. It can be anything, right? It can be any variable, doesn't matter. So for I in range of n, that means for as many number of times as the user has given, he will input the number of lines. You have to keep on asking input from the user. Input of, you will keep on asking it. And whatever is the user inputting, you will store it in a list called lines. So the whole thing we have compressed into one line. Again, if you are not comfortable with using this, you can write in multiple lines, doesn't matter. Okay. So I'll just show you maybe how this works. I haven't called the function now. Okay. Um, See, it is asking enter the number of lines. So if I do 3, then it is going to ask, this means I'm asking enter the first line. No, I'm saying, let's say apple, then I'm saying orange, and then I'm saying plum. Okay. Now, mm, yeah. So is this part clear? Taking the input from the user clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now coming to after you got the input from the user. Now, what are you going to do with it? You have to swap and you have to reverse. So, for I in range of 0 to n minus 1 comma 2. So, this is, I hope you are familiar with this range function of for loop, where I'm saying take the first value till n minus 1, because usually whatever number you gave, it is taken till, if you give n, it is taken till n minus 1, right? um, mm. And because we have that odd number concept, right? We have to reverse only for the odd numbers. We are giving a step value of 2. So step value is basically by how much will the I value be incremented the next time the loop is run. So let's take an example. Okay, let's take, if I have given 3 inputs. Okay, 3. Let's try to run and then show you. Mango. Mm, Apple. Okay. So if I gave 3 inputs and those 3 inputs are now stored in lines. So in lines, it is a list containing these 3 values: apple, orange, and mango. Okay, guys, it was mango. Okay. And now I'm taking one by one, each of the words one by one. So for I in range of 0 to n minus 1, so here n was 3. So n minus 1 will become 2, right? So first I am taking, I will become 0, and I'm taking lines of 0. So basically lines of 0 is the first word in the list, which is apple. And I'm taking the next consecutive sentence or consecutive word next to it, lines of I plus 1. And what am I doing? What am I trying to do with this line is, I'm basically swapping it. Multiple assignment only, but I'm swapping it. I'm assigning lines 1 to lines I plus 1 value, and lines I plus 1 value to lines I value. Okay, so this is where the swapping is done. Is this clear? Swapping part?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and now what we have to do is we have to reverse the odd numbered line. So now our odd numbered line is basically lines of I, right? Because we started from there. That is our first line. So that will be our odd numbered line, and I'm saying go to that line and take the value of that line and reverse it. Okay. So this is how you reverse a string. So basically, if nothing is given for start and end, it means take the whole string. And a step value of minus 1 means go in the reverse order. So basically, in the first iteration of the for loop, it has now swapped between orange and apple. And when it comes to this line, it will take the value of orange and reverse it. So now in the list, you have this EGNARO as the first word and apple as the second word, right? That is the first iteration of the for loop. Now after that, the for loop will be what will I value will be incremented to 2. Why 2? Because we have given the step value as 2. So it is 0 plus 2, I is equal to 2. So like that, our for loop will be implemented throughout the length of the list. Okay. And then I'm telling. So if our number of words or sentence input is an odd number, okay, like the case I am taken the example here. So what is the problem with odd number is basically when it comes to the last value, okay, this for loop will not run. The for loop will not run. Why will the for loop not run? Because when it comes to the last value, let us say uh, here it will be 0 1 2. So when I becomes 2, I'm asking it to take I plus 1, which is 3. And our list does not have a third index. It only have 0 1 and 2. So it will come out of the for loop. But we can't stop there. Our output has still not yet been designed, right? So if we are entering a odd number of inputs, then we have to manually go and reverse the last line. That is what is happening here. Lines of -1 means go to the last word and reverse it. Okay. And then finally you are telling go to the list and print each word. Okay. That's it. So is the question understood?
Here, why did you provide in the range n minus 1?
So basically, let's see what we can do is always try to think what might happen if you did something else, right? That is easier to think about. So what if I gave 0 to n, right? 0 to n and 2. So first of all, if I gave 0 to n, first value it will take is 0, and then our n value is 3, and then the first loop will run fine, and then the next loop which would become 0 plus 2, which is 2, and yeah, and 2 plus 1 3, here there would be a problem. And other than that also, now let if we have given even number of lines like 4, right? So now n becomes 4, and now your range will become 0 4 2, right? So now my I values will be 0 2 and then nothing. I would not be able to take the third value. Are you getting? So for example, let's see what will happen if n we put with 4 values, an even number of values: apple, mango, orange, and I don't know, kiwi. See the last, it is swapping with mango and apple. Kiwi and orange is not swapped. Swapping itself is not happening. That means this loop is not run. Why is it so? Because when you, what are the possible I values this can take? It will start from 0, then it will take 2, then can it take 4? It can't, because this is the end value. For loop will never take the end value. It will take n till the n minus 1 value, right? So ideally the loop should have executed for one more time to get the correct output. But if you put n, you are not able to get it. That's why we are putting n minus 1. Okay.
So we are ending the loop before the n minus 1 and before that value, right? So
Yeah.
those values will be accepted here.
Yeah. Okay. Can I move to the next question?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Now, a little bit. Now we are moving to the third section. Okay, last section. What you have to do here, given a list of words, filter the words based on specific criteria and return the result as a list in the same order as the input. So, certain criteria are given here. If the user tells my criteria is continuous, what should the function do? The function should check, the function should show the words that end with ing. If the user says the criteria is vowel rich, the function should give the words that contain more than five vowels, but it should not have not equal to five vowels. Okay. Consonant rich, if all the words that contain more than five consonants. And sorted means all the words where the letters are already sorted in ascending order. And if the user has not specified any particular criteria, then you return none. Okay. And they are told that's a function type question, so you don't have to take input output. You can directly just complete the function. See, now this is the example they have given. If the input list is these words, and if the user have given continuous as a criteria, okay, continuous as a criteria, this should be my output, because these are the words which end in ing. Regardless of small or capital letter, I should return all the words of that end in ing. Now, vowel rich is this is the only word which has more than five vowels. Now, consonant rich, these are the two words that have more than five consonants. And sorted will return all those words which are sorted in ascending order. Letters are sorted in ascending order. So, is the question clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now they have given this is your function def words by get words by criteria, and two parameters words and criteria equal to none. So words is basically a list of words like this, right? Like this. And criteria by default is none, but the user can enter criteria equal to one of these. If the user has not entered any of the criteria, the function will assume the criteria to be none. This is default arguments, if you remember. Okay. This is how you give default arguments. Now, first of all, I'm just assigning a variable called vowels to, and I'm telling these are all the vowels that I can ever get, right? The small letter and capital letter. I'm just keeping that like for safe purpose. I'll need it for calculations, right? And I'm using if elif structure. So I'm saying if the criteria is continuous, if the user has opted for a continuous criteria, this is what needs to be done. So this is a list comprehension. Again, if you're not comfortable with list comprehension, you can write it in multiple lines. But let's see how we are going to interpret this list comprehension. We'll start from here for word in words. So that is basically telling first you go to the list words where it is given and choose each word one by one. That is what is being done by this part. And now check if each of the word is now what you do, you convert that word to lowercase, all letters of that word to lowercase. And after converting to the lowercase, if the word ends with ing, so ends with is a function that checks if that word ends with this particular string. If it ends with ing, then store that particular word in a list. Okay. And this you will keep on doing till all the words in that list has been taken care of. And then you will finally return this as a list, right? This, did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, if the criteria is vowel rich, you will say go to each word in the list called words, and then if the sum is greater than 5, then you keep the word. That is as a whole. Now, how do you check if, how to calculate or how do you check if the sum is greater than 5? For C, Huh. For C in word. So basically, first you selected a word from the list of words. Now we are selecting each letter in the word. That is what is being done here. And now we are checking if that letter is a vowel. How we are checking? You are checking if that particular letter belongs in this string. That is why we defined the string earlier. Okay. If it belongs in this string, you assign a value 1 here. Okay. So then how many of these values you are getting, how many ones you are getting, take its sum, and if the sum is greater than 5, then store that word in a list and finally return that list of words. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what about consonant rich? You will check each word in the list. Then what will you do? If the sum is greater than 5, you will store that word. Now how to check if the sum is greater than 5? You will take each word in each letter in that word and you will check if that is an alphabet first of all. That is what is being done here. If that letter is an alphabet, and you should also ensure that letter is not a vowel. So if not a vowel, then it must be a consonant, right? So basically you are checking if it is a consonant, right? That is what is being done by this part if that letter is a consonant. If it is a consonant, then store its value as 1 and then finally take all such ones and their sum. If it is greater than 5, store that word in a list and return the list. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now finally, one more criteria there was sorted. So sorted is actually simple to work. So you'll take each word in the list and you will check if this expression holds true. What is this expression? You are saying list of word. Now what does list of word do? It will create a list from this particular sequence. So basically if your word was ACC, list of ACC will have 3 elements A comma C comma C. Okay. And then I'm asking if that list is same as what will I would have gotten by sorted. We only have one more question left. Okay. What we would have gotten by sorted function. If we apply the sorted function on this word, is this going to be the same as this list? That means the letters are in sorted, right? If so, store it in a list and return it. That is basically done here. And else part is basically if nothing, none of these criterias are there. Maybe they have inputted some other criteria which we don't know, or they have inputted nothing. You will just return none. That is the whole code. Now we will just run and see. Since I have inputted none, I am getting the output as none. If I am inputting as vowel rich, let's see what we are going to get. Vowel rich. Sorry. We are getting the output as given in the question, right? We are only getting those words which have a number of vowels greater than 5. Is this question clear?
One question. The sorted word returns the list. That is why we are converting the list of word.
No, basically, sorted does return a list. So basically, okay, wait. What we can do is we can try here. So let's see what they are doing, right? See, when I'm saying list of a string, it will simply separate it into different parts, right? Of its basic elements. When I'm saying sorted of a string, it will sort it in ascending order by default in a list format. So basically, here I am checking if these two lists are equal. If those two lists are equal, matlab already that word was in its ascending form. The letters are in ascending form. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, is the question clear, everyone? How to solve?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the last question. In fact, the last question is similar to the last question solved by Yuva. Only different thing is there it was V, here it is N. So, like maybe this is like one of the difficult questions where you might actually lose a marks, or you might not be able to get code, how to code for this at that point of time. Don't panic. You by now you will get a very good safe score. Okay, try to complete this, try to do this. If not, it's fine, right? So given an integer n where n is greater than 0, that means it should be a positive integer. Print an n shaped pattern with n rows. So maybe I will show you. It's okay. The pattern should have vertical bars like this yeah, vertical bar really on the left and right side of each row, with a backslash moving diagonally from the top left to the bottom right. There should be no spaces to the right of the pattern. And it's an input output question, so you need to ask for input from the user and you have to print the output. These two things should also be there in the code. Now again, even I didn't understand anything after reading the question. So what will we do? We will look at the examples. So can you see my doc?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are the examples given? If the n value is 1, this will be your output. That means basically one row, right? If the n value is 2, it will have 2 rows and the whole thing should look like an n using vertical bar and backslash, right? And if it is 3, it will have 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. And it looks like this, like an n only. Now coming back to the code, So did you understand the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, since I already have a code, like I'm going to show you with the example of 4 because this is a pretty easy to understand figure, right? So if it was 4, my output should have been like this. Now you will start by looking at patterns. What all patterns can you find out from this? So you can see there are 4 rows and they have already told each row should start and end with a vertical bar. And in between it should have a backslash, right? So now if you observe the first row, I have one space between the left vertical bar and the backslash. Second row, I have two space. In the third row, I have three space, and in the fourth row, uh, I'm sorry. First row you have no space. Second row you have one space. Third row you have two space, and fourth row you have three spaces. Is that clear? Did you identify that?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I will ask the user for the n value, which I have asked here. How many number of rows do you need? And I'm just making sure that n value is positive. Only if it is positive, I will do all the work in the function. If not, I'll just simply print invalid n value. Okay. Now if that n value is positive, like for say example 4, my program will go inside this function, and inside the function what I have written for I in range of n. Why did I write that? Because I need to iterate it 4 times so that I get 4 rows, right? So for I in range of n matlab what all values I can take? 0, 1, 2, 3, right? 4 values. I'm like first of all I'm just initializing certain variables. Okay, left bar karke I'm telling this is a vertical bar. Right bar is also I'm telling a vertical bar, and I'm saying diagonal space. Now what do I mean by diagonal space? Diagonal space is the space between this left bar and the backslash. This first spacing. How much space? 2 letter spacing, 1 letter spacing. How much I need? That I'm initializing using this variable called diagonal space. Okay. And how am I written? An empty string into star sign is into I. Why I? Basically because if it was the zeroth row, which is basically the first row, I have no space here between them. If it was the first line, which is this one, if the index is I have one space. If it is second I is equal to 2, I have two space, and if it's I equal to 3, I have three space. So is this part clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now
Yes.
finally, how to get this figure? So notice that I've put everything in strings, right? Because it is easier for me to just concatenate them, just add them, right? That's why everything is in strings. So I'm saying finally print the left bar. Okay, this is still inside the for loop. Okay, so every time this statement is also executed. So this print statement is for one row. So for the each row, I'm saying print the left bar value, which will be just one vertical bar. Then print the diagonal space, which is going to be the space that I've just told. Then print this. Now, in the question, they have asked only one backslash, but you already know that we can't simply put backslash because we need an escape character. That is why we are putting double backslash. Then only it will get printed here as a backslash. Okay, if you don't remember, sorry, you can revise the escape character sequence. Okay, uh, so that is put. So now this is what is actually translating to this backslash here. Okay, and then I'm saying to this string concatenate an empty space, and then again finally add a right bar, the right vertical bar. Now how do we get this expression, or what is this expression for? It is the expression for the right hand space, this spacing, right? So now again, if you are not able to figure out the expression, you will go back to the pattern. You go back to the figure. So here now I'm going to start from the bottom. The last row there is no space. In the second last row there is one space. In the this line there is two space, and in the last row from the end has three space. Right? Now how can I basically convert this into an equation? My logic, what I applied here is basically here this was 3 space. Now what is 3? What is 3?
Space.
4 minus 1, which is n
Four.
minus 1 for the first.
Yeah, correct. So 4 minus 1. So when you, this is basically the difference between the last and the line that you're currently in. So if it was here, it would have been 4 minus 2. It would have been 4 minus 1. And here it would be 4 minus 0. But then if we just do n minus I, we will get an error, because in the whole uh, list things or strings, we start our indexing from 0, not from 1, right? So to adjust for that indexing factor, we are putting this minus 1. Okay. So now if you check, when my I is 0, that means when I'm in the first row, my n value already is 4. How am I getting this? 4 minus 0, which is 4, and then minus 1. So you will have 3 spaces here. When my I is 1, it will become 4 minus 1, 3, and minus 1. So you will get 2 spaces here, right? And then when it is the I equal to 2, the third line, I will get 4 minus 2, which is 2, and 2 minus 1, I'll get 1. And the last line 3, it will become 4 minus 3, 1, 1 minus 1, 0. Therefore, 0 space. And this number we are multiplying so that we are getting the empty spaces accordingly that many number of times. And then we are finally returning our pattern. So is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. We are done with set 3. I'm sorry the meeting extended a little longer than we expected. Yeah. I think we can end the session today. Any other doubts you might have, we also have a session tomorrow. So we will take it over there. Okay. Did you understand?